Most founders I know hit the end of the financial year and do one of two things. Either they write a list of goals for the next year without first processing what this year was, or they let the story of what happened this year just settle into a shape and then they carry that into the next year. Neither of these things is a proper review. They're actually just momentum, but with absolutely no direction. And here's what I've noticed in biz circles, in one-to-ones with my clients, in my own business planning. The business owners and founders who move most clearly into the next year are not the ones with the best goal-setting system. They're actually the ones who stopped long enough to look at the shape of what they are carrying in their business and to empty the backpack they've been storing it all in before they begin to plan to pack the next one. And that is what this episode is. It's a chance to stop and look at what you've actually been carrying. Now, look, I'm going to guess that if you're watching the Inner Business podcast, you are actually the kind of person who wants to do that work, right? You are not just going to tick a box and call it a day. You want to do this properly. You ready? A few years ago, I came across an activity from James Wedmore. Now, if you don't know him, he's a well-known business mentor and he also helps people with YouTube. And the activity that I learned from him is so simple that you're going to probably think, nah, that doesn't work. But trust me, whenever I run this activity with clients or in a biz circle, something profound happens every single time. The premise is this. I need you to imagine that the entire business year you've been walking carrying a backpack. Okay? I wonder what color your backpack is. What style? Now, everything that's happened this year in your business, every win, every miss, every moment that stirred an emotion in you, everything you told yourself, and everything you decided you would sort later, yep, it's all in that backpack. Feeling a bit heavy, right? Now, at the end of the year, rather than carrying this backpack forward with all of its weight and expectation, sort of dragging us back into the next business year, we have a choice. We can choose to take the backpack off and take a look at what's actually inside. Now, you know as well as I that this backpack carries two kinds of content. One are the heavy things. These are the things that feel dense. They are the things that carry weight. They're likely the things that you've been avoiding and haven't actually addressed. The other things that are in this bag, the second category, are the lighter items. The moments of progress, the quiet wins, maybe even the things that happened that were really good and got immediately buried under the next task you needed to do. Got it? Beautiful. Now, founders have a habit of giving their attention to just one kind. Tell me in the comments which one you think it is. Yep. It's the heavy items. They are the ones that get all the airtime. In fact, I would say most founders I know are quite obsessed with critiquing things and working out why they didn't work and improving them. That is a really great trait of a successful entrepreneur. But the thing is, when you're in motion, progress can be invisible. You're so focused on where you're going, you forgot to celebrate where you are right now. I'm curious, actually, which one do you do most? Are you the person who replays the misses? Or are you the person who forgets to celebrate along the way? Drop it in the comments. I genuinely am curious. And I guarantee you are not going to be alone in whichever one you choose. Now, the backpack activity, it's going to interrupt this pattern. Are you ready to feel this discomfort? I've been running this with people in my business circles for a few years, and the same thing happens every single time. Someone opens the metaphorical backpack expecting to find all the heavy stuff, the goal that didn't land, the year that felt harder than they wanted it to. And then as they start actually paying attention, pulling things out, they find things that they were not expecting. I had a client sit with this in a December circle. She'd spent most of the year with her focus fixed on the one thing that hadn't arrived yet. And that was a retreat that she'd been building. The thing is, the dates kept shifting and the retreat never landed. And the story she'd been telling herself was, the year was incomplete and she didn't get where she wanted to go. But when she stopped and actually looked at what was in her backpack, she noticed some things. She noticed a fully booked client calendar and a business that had grown so well that she no longer needed to supplement her income by working as a relief teacher. And that had been something she'd been doing for a while. Her life had shifted in the way she'd been working towards for a very long time. She just hadn't noticed. Not because she isn't self-aware, but because she was so focused on the gap, the thing that wasn't there yet. And so as a result, she had walked past the evidence of everything that she had achieved. Imagine how that lens shift felt for her. If that hit something in you, if you recognized yourself in that, you are in exactly the right place today. And the other thing that happens, the heavy items, the things that maybe you've been avoiding, when you actually examine them, they are rarely what you've been fearing. Sometimes the weight in that bag isn't failure. It's actually an unlearned lesson. Something that in the last 12 months, your business has been trying to serve up to you so you can grow. Something that you are ready to move past. And when you take that and you spend time with it and you look at it properly, it will definitely lose some of that weight. Not because we are discounting how hard you found that experience, but because there are lessons, there are learnings sitting in that moment. And when you start to tune into them, the meaning shifts. You just have to be willing to sit with them. That, my friend, is the work. And it only takes about 20 minutes. Curious? So here's what we're going to do. I would love you to answer these 3 questions. And I'd invite you to sit with each question before you do any business planning for the next financial year at all. Promise? Okay, give me a like if you promise. And I want you to actually sit with them. So I'm going to record these questions and I encourage you to pause me, to write your answer and press play only when you feel complete with your answer. I need you to find a comfy space. If you're driving in the car right now, feel free to keep tuning in, but later you're going to set aside 20 to 30 minutes to do this exercise, okay? All right, so I want you to sit with them. Pause the video if you need to. Please, this is not content that you just consume. This is a beautiful opportunity to do the work. You ready? Okay, first of all, let's take a breath. And let's visualize this backpack. Remember, I asked you, I wonder what color it is. I wonder what shape it is. And I want you to imagine you're picking this backpack up. How does it feel? The first question I want you to journal on is what is heavy inside this backpack right now? What is in here? Let's have a look. Things that happened this year that felt heavy and hard. Let's write them down. That's all we're going to do. Write them down. Press pause if you need to. Beautiful. Now, if you've got a long list, awesome. Good on you. I want you to tune into like the top 2 or 3, the ones that feel the heaviest. If you've got a short list, also wonderful. You've got a list. And I want you to think about what each of these events, these moments, was trying to show you. Not the story you've been telling yourself about why it's so hard, but the positive learnings that sit underneath that story. Because there is always a positive learning. So ask your unconscious mind, what are the positive learnings I can take from each of these moments? Again, feel free to pause if you need to. Beautiful, welcome back. Okay, let's move on to the second part. Have another look in your beautiful metaphorical backpack. What in here is light, shiny, golden? What can you write down that you have done this year that has felt great? What progress have you made? What things do you need to notice right now? Write down everywhere the business grew, even if it's small or quiet, even if that didn't match your original plan. Life is what happens when we're busy making other plans, I've heard. Write them all down. Press pause if you need to. Congratulations. Just take a deep breath and breathe in that list. I wonder what you can learn by looking at that list about yourself and your business. Let me know in the comments if anything gorgeous appears. We'd love to support you. Okay, third question, final one. This one's a little bit of an edge one. We've done the heavy, we've done the light, but I guarantee there are still things in that backpack. So here's my final question. What are you carrying at the moment that was actually never yours to keep? Well, sometimes there are things that we carry from the year. Sometimes they're older than this year because we've not done this before. And at the end of financial year, it's a perfect time to say, actually, that isn't mine. That event wasn't me. That event is my client's. That event is someone else's. And put it down. In fact, feel free to imagine yourself giving it back. How did that feel? You look at what you've written down. Are there any clues there now for what your goals might need to look like? Has anything you've written there shaped what needs to come forward with you and what you need to leave behind? Could that be part of a really beautiful goal for you for the next financial year? Of course it could. So proud of you. Well done. I love it. Do comment below if anything beautiful came up or you have any questions. I read every comment and I would love to reply to you. So before July arrives, you promise 20 to 30 minutes, okay? Empty this backpack, look at the heavy things and find the beautiful life lessons that are within them, that are ready for you to grow through. Look at the light things and let them land. Celebrate them. And again, take the beautiful lessons from those moments too. And if something in this episode has you wondering about any patterns that have been running underneath these moments for you this year, then the quiz that I have on my website is a great place to go deeper. It's totally free. It takes an extra 5 minutes, but wow, are the results really handy. And it will show you very specifically what's underneath it all. The link is below this video. Looking forward to reading all of your comments and sharing all your wins and all of the beautiful lessons that you can take away from this gorgeous moment. I'll see you next week for the Inner Business podcast. Take care.